Hello, and welcome to Yes You Can DIY Digital Marketing by TTG. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you some ChatGPT use cases that you can start using right away in your marketing. But before we get started on a couple of examples, it's important to know a few things. One, I'm using ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version. ChatGPT 3.5 is the free version. So if you want to use the free version, you're going to be a little more limited. You can still get a lot of great information out of 3.5, but I do highly recommend the paid version. You're going to get a lot more out of it. And what's really cool is you can actually ask ChatGPT what it is capable of and what it can do for you. So, for example, if I switch here to 3.5, I can ask it how recent its information is. So when we talked about this last year, it was current through September 2021. Now it has a little more information that's been trained on, so it's up to January 2022. Another limitation is that it can't access the web. And this is something else that you can ask it. It lets me know, I'm sorry, but I do not have the capability to browse the web. So this is important information to know. However, I'm going to copy and paste this question and go to ChatGPT 4. Yes, I can browse the web. So, highly recommend ChatGPT 4 because it can browse the web for you. There are a lot of plugins available as well, and it can give you much better copy for marketing and can find a lot more information. And of course, the most current information, especially if you're in an industry where things are constantly changing, you'll want ChatGPT 4. Okay, so let's move on to our first use case. One of the things that we love ChatGPT for at Technology Therapy Group is helping us to brainstorm. And of course, we've been doing this for years. We can brainstorm lots of topics. We can Google, you draw inspiration, of course, from others. And we've been using Google for years. But now we can use ChatGPT, and the time savings is what's really huge here. And again, like I said earlier, you can ask ChatGPT what it can do for you. So I have one already here that I put in the prompt. I asked it, what types of digital marketing content can ChatGPT help me brainstorm? And it gave me this full list. And I'm sure it could give more, but it gave me 15 different topics that it can help me with brainstorming. So try doing this yourself. Ask it what it can help you with. And it knows what it's capable of and what it's not. So I won't go through this whole list. You can always pause the video and look at it. I'll scroll down a little bit so you can look at what it's replying. But let's say I said, oh, great, it can help me with webinar topics. So I want to know if it can help me brainstorm some topics related to AI. Okay, so you don't have to watch me type. I already have my prompt typed out, so I'm just pasting it here. And notice I'm saying to give me 10 topics. I'm being specific about 10. For a webinar where I would educate small business owners and business leaders, specifically in luxury retail. So that helps ChatGPT narrow it down. And then I give it a further instructions to give me the high level topics, but then also give me bullets explaining each idea. So if I hadn't given all these details, I probably would have gotten something that I don't want. So, if I didn't say I wanted to be in luxury retail, then it might have given me webinar topics on uh, plumbers or interior designers or just general. The more detail you provide to ChatGPT, the better information you'll get out of it. So, sending the message. All right, and you can see it's generating 10 ideas for me. And here are all of them. Okay, so I think what I want to focus on is digital transformation. Now, let's say I already had in mind that I wanted it to be digital transformation. I could have put that specifically in this prompt as well. Or let's say I wanted it to be about AI or even ChatGPT in particular. I could have put that in the prompt. So I'm going to let it know that I like number one. So now we can take this a step further and we can get a full outline. And again, I have the prompt already typed up. So I'm just copying and pasting here. Okay, so here's what it gave me. I've got an introduction, I've got section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, and a conclusion, and letting me know that I should provide additional resources in my presentation. Now, I wouldn't take this and copy it. I would use it for inspiration. And this is true of most things, especially anything that you generate copy through AI tools. We do not recommend copying and pasting word for word what you get from an AI tool. It's not authentic, and it's very easy for somebody to find out that you're really just generating content and churning it out from AI. And we're seeing a lot of pushback online from people and companies alike who are saying that they do not want content that is fully generated by an AI tool. Now, using it to support what you're already doing is great. And I may read through this and say, okay, this is true. That's a good point. Oh, I don't agree with that though. Or, you know what? I really don't want to talk about virtual reality or augmented reality. I want to focus on ChatGPT and Claude and Dolly, let's say. So I might strike this. So you, of course, you want to go through, see what works for you, see what your level of expertise is in everything that it's suggesting, and then narrow down from there. So you can see I did iterations. So let's go back to the beginning. So first I asked it what types of content it can help me brainstorm. Then I chose one and I narrowed it down further to webinar, luxury retail, and then I narrowed it down further to number one, and it gave me a full outline. So it's important to know that you want to do iterations, you want to refine. It's not always going to give you exactly what you want on the first prompt. It's just like if you were speaking to a person and if you only gave them a little bit of information and kept it very broad, you're leaving it open for them to interpret and just guess what you want. You want to tell ChatGPT exactly what you want. Okay, so let's move on to another use case. This is use case number two, asking it for marketing copy, but not just marketing copy, but also the why behind the copy. For example, if I want a popover and I want somebody to fill out a form on my popover or click a button to go to another page, what is my audience most likely to click on? When a visitor comes to my site, what is a good headline that would be compelling, and what's the psychology behind it? Okay, so I'm coming up here to start a new chat. The reason being, now I'm going to ask about a different topic for a different client. It's an imaginary client. And it's important to keep conversations going based on topic or based on client. So this is a client that's HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. I have another client that is a jeweler. So I wouldn't mix the two together in the same conversation with ChatGPT. I'll even split it up by topic. So let's say I do YouTube description copy for the jeweler, and I also do blogs for the jeweler. I will keep a conversation going where it's the jeweler's name, YouTube descriptions, and then jeweler's name, blogs for each of my chats with ChatGPT. Another thing that's important that I'm not going to put in here that you do want to put the first time you initiate a conversation with ChatGPT is let it know your brand, voice, goals in writing, and if there's a specific tone that you stick to, let it know. Let it know what the tone is, or if your tone varies depending on the content, then as you write content, you can prompt it to let it know if the tone is different this time. And then what you do every time you put a prompt in for copy, for new copy, you say, refer back to my original prompt where I provided you with my voice, brand, and goals in writing. And it knows to jump back up and go back and review that. So for this one, like I said, it's an HVAC business. This is for a popover on the website. And again, as I said earlier, you want to be specific. I need copy for a popover. I want it to be brief. I need a headline, one or two sentences, and a button. But if you are not a marketing expert, you may not know what is the best copy and why. So I'm asking it, what is the psychology behind the copy to get people to click on this popover? What are phrases or words that are effective? Are there phrases or words that should be avoided? In your response, please provide citations to sources. So this is helpful. Again, as I said earlier, with the paid version, it can browse the web for you. And then I'm being specific and telling it to give me 5 options. I love this. I do this all the time, especially if I need headlines, I'll tell it to give me 10, or if I'm doing social captions, I'll tell it to give me 3 because like I said earlier, we don't want to just copy and paste everything that it gives us. So what I tend to do is mix and match and or even just choose word choices. Maybe I wrote the caption already, but the word choices weren't great and I feel like there's something better, there's a better way to say this, and then I give it to ChatGPT and it gives me word choices. So telling it to give you options to choose from is also a great way to get what you need out of it so that it's not just guessing. Okay, so now it's generating the response. All right, so this is really cool. It gives me the answer here at the top. It tells me what we want to be considering. It's telling me uh, effective phrases often include verbs like discover, learn, save, etc. So it gives me all the why behind it. Then it gives me copy that I can choose from. Something that we joke about a lot at TTG is that ChatGPT loves to say unlock secrets, and it just makes us chuckle. So you might see that a lot. But what's great is you can tell it, do not include unlock secrets in this copy. So it will understand what you say if you get sick of it saying unlock this secret, unlock that secret, you can tell it not to do that. And like I said, sometimes you can mix and match whatever you want. So maybe I like this headline, but I don't like the body it gave me with it, but I do like, say, this one. You can grab this headline, mix it with that body. You can get this button for get tips, and just mix them together as far as what you want them to be. Another thing that's really helpful to do if you are doing something, say, for example, like an SEO title and meta description for a page on a website, you can tell it how many characters. So these are pretty short. A lot of times it has given me some pretty long headlines. You can say to it, um, generate 5 more headlines, make them all 40 characters or less. And finally, if you already wrote some copy and you're not sure if it's very good, if it's going to be effective, along this same idea, you can take your copy, paste it into ChatGPT, and give it your copy as a prompt. Of course, you want to explain to ChatGPT what it is and say something like, I wrote this caption for LinkedIn. Analyze it for tone. Tell me if it's effective. Offer suggestions for improvement. And it can do the same thing and tell you why, and it can provide updated copy for you. All right, and moving on to our last use case. Use case number 3 is asking it for things like puns and play on words, or you could ask it for idioms. There are so many fun things you can ask it for. Opening a new chat. So I'm asking it for some good puns or idioms using the word kiss and telling it to give me 20. And you can give it whatever number you want. I'm sure there's a limit on how many uh, phrases there are with the word kiss in it. And the reason I'm doing this is because we have a client that's a medical spa and there's a product. It's called, just so you can see it in writing, what it looks like. So KYSSE. So I'm putting my prompt here in ChatGPT. I know what I want to say about the special. I know what I want to say in the blog, but I just want to come up with something clever for a social media image that I can use as a headline. So I noticed that it's telling me, oh, kiss and tell. That's fun. So I'm going to put on the image, don't worry, we don't kiss and tell, except it's not spelled KISS, it's spelled KYSSE. So this is something that I love ChatGPT for, that especially when if you're not feeling especially creative and you just can't think of the right words, it is so great for helping you think of things like this. And look how quickly I asked it, and so quickly it gave me kiss and tell, and I said, "Ah, yes, kiss and tell, that's great." So play around with it, put in prompts that are specific, tell it what you want, give it whatever parameters it needs so that it doesn't just give you really very general information. So if I put what are some good puns or idioms, right, and I just stopped right there, it's going to give me a whole array. Whereas I was looking specifically for the word kiss, and I thought 20 would be sufficient to start off with. And I could come here and say, could you provide 10 more? And it gave me more, but here's something interesting. I originally specifically said the word kiss, and it looks like it's already running out of ideas because it said here a peck on the cheek, which is fine. I might be able to use that, if it was something else. But in this specific scenario, I'm trying to have the actual word kiss. So that tells you that, it is getting to the point where it's running out of ideas. Of course, there are only so many phrases with the word kiss. All right, so those are our three use cases. So to recap, we've got highly recommend a ChatGPT 4 paid account to get the best out of ChatGPT. It can help you brainstorm. It can help write copy for you and also give you the why, the psychology behind the why for marketing copy. And it can give you all kinds of fun ideas for puns, idioms, anything that you can think of. Remember, it's called a large language model. So the key word there being language, it's all about language. And also to recap a couple of my tips, make sure you're keeping the same topic going in one chat. Don't mix them all together in one chat. And make sure you're not just copying and pasting everything that it provides to you. Make it authentic and make it relevant to your audience. If you'd like to see more content in the future, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications. If you need a little extra help learning how to use ChatGPT, visit technologytherapy.com to partner up with a mentor who can walk you through step by step. Thanks for watching.